this is Brian.
And I'm Logan. And this is Tops.
Sup?
And this is Bottoms.
Whoa.
And this is Trouble. Sup? Oh my god, it's our 8th Tri-Brigade video. Wow. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Monday, my magnificent, marvelous Mupple-Wupples, because I can't think of a word.
Wow, Mupple-Wupples.
You're Mupple-Wupples today. I don't know. Just embrace it, okay?
So today we were actually going to be doing a Phantom Knight deck profile with the brand new F-Zero Draco Future Dragon, whatever Konami decided to rename the card as, because God knows we can't have the OCG name for some reason.
We're really struggling with words today, team.
But we got a lot of requests to update the Tri-Brigade list, so we figured we'd do that instead. This is not the list that I played over the weekend, and I will go over the changes as to why. But this is probably the build that I will be moving forward with. Ever since the ban list and the Zodiac hits, everyone has kind of tried to figure out and solve this list, and I think it's not actually like 100% there, but it's getting closer and closer and closer. So we're gonna go over exactly what the choices are and why, and we're actually gonna do it in a different format today.
We're gonna try and highlight more of the combo section because a lot of you guys ask how this deck is actually played. So we're gonna do multiple test hands and show you guys how this deck works and kind of just go through the Tri-Brigade profile because a lot of people know what the cards already are in this deck. And with all that being said, make sure you're here tomorrow for our King's Court case opening, where we will be announcing the giveaway winner for our King's Court box giveaway from last week. And make sure you let us know in the comments of tomorrow's video if you want us to do another box giveaway.
But before we get into this video, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down and hit that subscribe button, throw this video a like, comment your favorite hand trap. We're using our nice Pound Manga Mat hand trap mat, so put in the comment section down below your favorite hand trap.
We also have an Instagram, it's at YCS. Feel free to come give us a follow if you want to interact with us a little bit more. And then we also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bop. We do remote dual tourneys every Friday, and it's a great place to come and make some new friends. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel and all of our shenanigans, we have a Patreon. We have merch, we have awesome rewards, we have bloopers at the end of every month. It's a really good time. I highly recommend checking out the Patreon, but if not, that's okay. We're just happy you're here. We're going to go through this Tri-Brigade list for about, feels like the 1000th time.
Alright, as we said, different formats. Let's zoom on out and showcase exactly what the deck's going to do. Alright, so as we said before, we're just going to do a completely different format. Everyone knows exactly what this deck does and consists of and all that other fun stuff. So we are starting with triple copies of our good old Rescue Cat.
This is new.
This is the brand new starter card. It does stink. I was not really a huge advocate for this card, but with the Zodiac hits, this is your best starter card. The only reason I'm not a huge fan is because all the Zoo cards were one card starters, and going second just helped you kind of break boards without activating effects. So like you just normal Zoo, Borbo, attack, overlay for a billion times, and then just make Zeus. And like your opponent has to deal with the Zeus, whereas like this, you can normal summon it, activate the effect to get 2, but like if you don't have access to any other like protective cards, you don't have the ability to actually guarantee this resolving to get to your Zeus package, which we will go to into the extra deck.
Yes.
But I mean, kind of obvious, we're playing triple copies of Fractal, triple copies of Nerval. These are like, you know, I don't think these ratios have ever changed. Triple copies of Kit, and then still double copies of our Tri-Brigade Karis. I will say, I do think this could potentially be bumped to 3 just because Rescue Cat tributes itself to get 2 level 2 or lower, level 3 or lower beast monsters. So you're always going to be summoning one of your Kit and then one of your Karis. So you don't actually have access to like a second Karis, like turn 3, 4, 5. You only have like the 1 in your deck, and if you draw the 1, it's kind of tough to search and like have that extender. So I really do think that there are some cards in this deck that we could potentially cut. We'll go over them real quick, but for the third Karis, I do think that it may be warranted. So moving on with the hand traps.
Oh wait, I have a question, sir.
Yes.
This is just a me question. I don't know, maybe some of you have this question too, or maybe I'm just bad at this game. But when you use Rescue Cat, why do you summon Kit and Karis? Like I get Kit, but why Karis too?
Because Fractal and Nerval are Winged Beast and Beast Warriors. So these are the only 2 targets you have in your deck.
Oh. I've been thinking this whole time that there's some really intense reason.
It's because it's the only ones that meet them.
Those are your targets. Wow, okay. Anyway, that's it. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
And then speaking of Rescue Cat, we are on the Gamma package for our hand traps. Gamma's really good because, as I said, Rescue Cat tributes itself off the board for cost. So Rescue Cat will be in the graveyard. So if your opponent like ashes you or tries to Gamma you, you can just Gamma them right back, or Gamma the Ash. So it's really good.
Yeah.
It does allow you to resolve. And then, as I said, going second, normal Cat, activate the effect to get 2 level 2s out. If they have like a negate, you can always Gamma that negate as well. You just have to kind of hope that they don't have a negate for your negate that negates their negate, which negates your negate.
And don't forget, if your opponent Gammas you, you can Gamma them back.
It's very true. So moving on with the hand traps, we are playing triple copies of Ash as well. I will say,
are those secret first sets all 3?
they are
you
now.
got a third first first ed secret. Oh, shout out to Adam/Crossfire for giving us the third first ed. We appreciate
it is true.
you.
Love you, bud. I will say Ash is a very good generic hand trap, but I almost wonder if it should have been like a main deck Nib or a main deck Droll. The Drytron matchup is extremely hard game one when you lose the dice roll, and Salad is also a very hard game if you open, which happened to me in round 2, which actually really stinks. I lost the dice roll, I went second, and I opened 0 hand traps, and then they had like 3 hand traps, 3 interruptions. I was just like, you can't play through that without like any interaction. So we are also, as far as like hand trap goes, we were playing 2 copies of DD Crow in the main deck because you can search one, and like just having the utility of having the DD Crow to like hard draw the card somewhere throughout your turns really helps the deck, I feel like. And I do think that like DD Crow is super versatile right now. Like you can hit the engage, you can hit the ray. Like hitting the ray sometimes is way more important.
You can hit the Ben 10.
Yeah, you can hit Ben 10. It actually came up in a Drytron matchup over the weekend where I hit the Ben 10 and they had Orange Light, which was fine because then I got every card out of their hand.
Yeah.
And like they ended on Ultimateness Pass, and like the Ultimateness was dead because they had no cards. So it was really, really strong. I also had like other hand traps as well to combat the rest of their hand. So they typically would have had an extra card, but we played really well and got rid of it. So, and then rounding out for the hand traps, we are on triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card is just a crazy 1-for-1 trade.
It's so good, this format.
It really is. Like this card is nutty right now. I do think that Imperm could swap out for something else. I don't think I like necessarily needed it. I sided it out a couple times, but there were other times where I had it and I was like, yo, this card's gonna win me the game. So the other card that I think is a point of contention in the deck that I would not drop this card to save my life.
I vouched for this card for weeks.
This card is triple tactics in the main deck is absolutely freaking crazy.
Yes, we driving fast here.
Like when you rescue cat and you don't have Gamma and then they just like Ash the rescue cat and then you have the talent, you can like draw 2 because you got rid of their Ash, and like drawing into additional hand traps to get you into further turns. Sometimes like you have the Karis and you like draw into another Tri-Beast type name, or sometimes you have Tri-Beast type names and you draw into Karis. Like you just continually get to keep playing, or if not, like we are playing so many cards that allow us to go second. The talents just draws you like this deck is crazy when it comes to the amount of utility that you can draw into, and then just like going second, it helps you steal stuff. If you know that you have a crazy good hand, you can like talents look at your opponent's hand and make sure they're not gonna play as well. Like this card is so much money for a reason. Like this card is, I don't think I would ever cut this card.
You're welcome.
And then as far as utility goes, I mean, this is just consistency cards. We're playing triple copies of Tenki. It's just searches you Fractal. You want to play 6 Fractal. The only issue that I think I found with this deck over the last couple weeks of testing it with and without the cat is that the deck kind of just loses if you don't open up starter cards, which I know sounds nuts because like you have like three, all of these are starters, but like you'll get hands where you open like Gamma, Ash, Crow, Imperm, Talents, and it's like, wow, my opponent's not gonna play, but I'm not either. And it just like, it feels really bad. Or sometimes you'll open like double Nerval, like Ash, Crow, Imperm, and it's like, what am I gonna do with this hand? So like, and then when you normal summon the Nerval and you link it away from the Amaraj, your opponent always has the Ash for the search. So it just feels so bad.
A lot of decks are like that right now. They need names. VW needs names. Adignister needs names.
Yeah, you need names.
Needs names.
Yep.
Zoo needs names. Everything needs names.
Yep, I feel like that's the only reason I honestly did lose over the weekend, is just because like you don't draw names, and when you draw one name like a Kit or a Nerval, because you never draw Fractal and Karis. Like you always draw Kit and Nerval, which is fine because you normal link away and then they just hit you with Ash, and it's like, all right, cool, I'll set Imperm pass. Like it does feel pretty bad. So the one change that I did make from the YCS over the weekend is I'm now going to be main decking triple copies of Pot of Prosperity.
Ooh, that's
This
bold.
was Solemn Strike, and as good as Strike was, Prosperity is just like, I honestly don't know if I like this card at 3. I might put it to 2 just because like it's a great consistency card, but once you get your Tri-Brigade engine rolling, like you have all of these cards out of your deck by turn 3, and you really like, and you're always like drawing hand traps. Talents can help you draw into more cards, and then you like, these two do conflict, but the Prosperity, as good as it is, you don't have a ton of extra deck room space to banish a ton of cards. So I'm like, this is a card that you want to open or like draws your 6th card to either like play with negates that your opponent has and like bait them out, or like I'm banishing 3 cards. I don't think I maybe banished 6 cards like once. Like you really only want to have a couple flex spots in your extra deck because this extra deck is extremely tight and you do use a lot of the slots.
This card is in the testing phases, so we'll keep you posted on how this works.
I do think a lot of players are starting to go more of the Prosperity route. I don't know, like maybe we cut one of these one of these and like play Droll in the main deck or something. But moving on is, speaking of hand traps, we are playing the 1 copy of Called By. I mean, like with the Called By, with the talents, with the Gamma, you have, you know, like 7 chances of your, or like 8, 9, 10 if you count your opponent not opening hand traps, abilities for your rescue cat to resolve. And then the last spell in the deck is the 1 copy of main deck Feather Duster. This card is insane. I played a Mystic Mind Burn deck over the weekend, which, like, shout out to Konami for not hitting that freaking card. Like, I don't understand why that card's still at 3, but
how the turntables.
I know.
Used to love it.
I know. It's
now
just,
it's annoying, isn't it?
It's just very annoying, but it is what it is. The Feather Duster was insane against that game 1. Speaking of insane cards, Imperial Order, just like an absolute blowout
you
card.
open that cat Gamma, you win.
Yeah, you really do. And then double copies of Revolt. It's probably like one of the best cards in the deck. This is the main deck. As far as changes, maybe I would cut a Crow for a 3rd Karis and then test it that way, but I did test 3 Karis, and it was a little bricky because a lot of times you'd like open a Karis with nothing to discard, and then like no consistency pieces, and like you're not really trying to discard a Crow because you want to have that as interaction. So I don't know, let's just move on to the extra deck and go from there. Alright, we zoomed in just a little bit for the extra. We are on the 1 copy of Almirage. As I said, you literally just normal summon Kit or Nerval, link it away, and then get Ash. So it's really, really good bait, I guess, to lose. And then you are playing the 1 copy of the Ancient Warrior. Still, this card is really good. It's just a Hieratic Seal. It's good to note too, not a lot of people know this, but you can send cards from your hand or field to the graveyard. So like there's a ton of times I activate this, you send Nerval, and like you get the Nerval search, which
and
is
don't
really
forget,
good.
he's 1600 attack. He bumps himself.
He bumps himself.
People always forget that. And it's like, no, it's 16.
Double Ferrigite. This card's absolutely ridiculous. Like it's an extender, and it's like this card is nuts. Like if we had
special and draw.
I know we have 1 Starlight. Shout out to anyone who has a 2nd Starlight and wants to talk to us about it, because we'll buy it.
Yeah, send us a message.
And then we are playing the 1 copy of Bear Broom. The reason we are playing 1, I think a lot of people are playing 2, which is totally fine. We'll go over that in a couple of cards, but this card is just nuts. It literally just searches your trap, which is the best card in the deck. We are playing the 1 copy of Silver. Not a huge fan of this, but it is like a generic like Link 3 that you can just use to continually play a little bit further. Like you can link, depending on like what you get hand trapped and throughout your lines of play, you can just make this with like another TRI-BRIGADE name, or like this even gets you another TRI-BRIGADE name. A lot of people don't know this has a 2nd effect to like discard 2 and special 1 back from banish. So it does come up sometimes to like do that and then make this, and then like this is reborn, you grab the card back at the end phase of your opponent's turn. So it is pretty cool. I don't use it often, but it has come up a couple times. This card, on the other hand, is absolutely freaking wild, man. This card being 4,800 attack sometimes, like you don't even need access code. This card's so good. And then it's like the quick effect DD Crow is really cool. We are playing double copies of Shiraig. Maybe you could potentially play 3 of this, but we'll talk about that in a second. The 1 app, the 1 access code, and then the 1 copy of Omega for your Gamma package. This is a really easy card to just banish if you don't see it turn 1. If you don't see Gamma turn 1, but you see Prosperity instead. The rest of the cards that I am still in the testing phase for is because if you do resolve your Rescue Cat tributing 2 beasts, you can make Sky Cavalry Centura or whatever. Centaura, there it is. And then Downard, and then Zeus. So you can make a format Zeus in this deck, which is still pretty strong. And then the Sky Cavalry says that if this card cannot be destroyed by battle while it has Xyz material, and then at the end of the damage step, if this card battle an opponent's monster, you can detach 1 material from this card, return that opponent's monster from the field to the hand. So it like outs Dragoon, you could bait the Dragoon negate with that, and then like you can also just like, you can overlay into the Zeus baits that. Like there's just a ton of things that actually, and like this just outs a ton of different cards that have like protection. So I still wanted to try to play the Zeus package. It tries to make up for the Zoo aspect and not having the Zoo names. So this was just something that I thought was really, really cool. I give it a try, but if not, I do think you could 1000% cut these cards. Like this would be Lambda, this would be the 2nd Bear Broom, and then this would be your 3rd copy of Shiraig. Like it's super easy. It gives you more things to banish off of your Prosperity. And I don't know, I feel it came up a couple times this weekend, and I really didn't like, I don't think that I would cut it, but the more testing we do with the deck, the more we'll, you know, more data we'll have, and then we'll just be able to make that decision from there.
I think this card's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really crazy. All right, let's move on to some combos real quick.
Yeah, let's show you guys how this deck actually works. Yeehaw. All
right, so we're just gonna shuffle up real quick and just showcase exactly what this deck does or doesn't do, because as good as this deck is, it does kind of lose to itself sometimes.
Yeah,
like
that's most decks,
you
though.
just don't draw names, and it is what it is. Or sometimes you draw all the names and no hand traps, and it doesn't matter. So
some days decks are so good. Like I played in our remote locals last week on stream with my deck that I like, you know, topped with a week ago, and I opened garbage.
Yeah,
my
just
deck
happens
just
sometimes.
Died. I'm like, all right, well, it happens.
So here you go. I'll let you cut this opponent, and you can do.
Oh, it's me. The pony, nay.
So going first, we'll see Karis, which is really strong. The second Karis, which happens.
Oh my God, Karis Fractal.
Fractal, Nerval, and Crow.
Oh,
so like this is it stinks because like it's one of those hands where like you really just you stinks. Like you saw one hand trap, you saw no like really good starter cards, you saw two of the two ofs that you play, and I mean like here we just play.
Let's play it out.
Yeah, we play the Fractal effect in hand, discard itself, and then that will send Kit, and then Kit effect dumps Nerval, and then Nerval searches the other Kit. Now the reason that I would actually dump the Kit and the Nerval, most times I would just go like Fractal, send Nerval, Nerval, search Kit. But because we already opened the Kit, we opened both Karis, you have double extenders, so you just want to fill up the graveyard as much as possible. So here we're going to normal summon Kit because we don't want to actually reveal to our opponent that we have the double Karis. And then here we just banish the two names. This will allow us to grab our Farajit here. So here we have two options. We can either special summon the Nerval to like not reveal that we have the Karis in our hand, or we can activate the Karis effect to special summon itself by sending the Nerval, which would then give us two names in our graveyard. We can then activate the Karis effect, banishing two more. This will get us a double Dragon Lords. So one of the lines here now is you can just take your Farajit and your Kit and link them away into the Bear Broom, and then you can activate the Farajit effect to draw. Wow.
Whack!
Well, that helps a lot. We'll just put this card back.
Goodbye, Karis.
Always,
you did well, son.
I mean, obviously we're doing like test hands here, but like always shuffle your hand because you don't want your opponent to know like, oh, I drew a bad card, I'm putting a bad card back.
Pretend it's DB. Shuffle your hand.
Yeah, and then here we can just link for 3 into our Rugal. And then obviously Bearman will activate. Grabbing Revolt, we'll put the Crow back because Order Revolt is just a little bit better. So we can set 2 cards here, playing around Mech Knights always. Here's our 4 banished cards, and then we just pass our turn. So here we have Imperial Order, we have a Reborn, we have a Bounce, and then we also have the Trap. So like that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty good, even though it's not like the most optimal looking board.
Yeah,
these 2 are pretty nice.
Yeah, you could also like go into Appaloosa if you wanted to not make the double Dragon Lords, but it's totally okay. You can do whatever you want. It really does depend on the matchup, but I think having 1, 2, 3, and then like this can also special summon back. And with Revolt, I'd always bring back 2 from Banish, and then just bring back 2 more. So obviously you have the 4 here. This summons your Shuraig, and then we'll go Nerval 1, Shuraig 2 to try to chain block the Nerval. So Nerval will search our Fractal, and then here obviously the Omen will just banish a card, and then you can actually activate your Silver effect as well to bring back any of your like TRI-BRIGADE cards. You can bring back the Kit, and then if your opponent doesn't have a way to out this, you can always just like activate this to send the Kit, and then you can get the Kit send as well, or at the end phase, if you brought it back, you can always bring the Kit back to hand, drawing you another card, which, wow, that's pretty crazy. And then right there, you already have 3 cards in hand, plus basically enough damage for game. All you have to do is just normal summon, these become access code, and there it is.
Also, just a little side note that I'd like to point out that we talked about on stream the other day. If Farajit was special summoned properly, like with 2 whatever cards, and you special summon her off of Revolt, she does still count as a Link 2. If you summon any Link the right way, its Link rating is its Link rating. It's not 1. Like, it can count as 1, but like if you're summoning 2 and then 1 and then 1, like that's 4. You only need to summon 3 for a 4 because she is a 2. Like, she still counts as a Link 2 if she's special summoned back. Like, that's how it works. She doesn't just not count as a Link 2 anymore.
But yeah, this is the new TRI-BRIGADE deck. I don't think it's changed much. You're obviously not playing the zoo cards anymore, which I think is totally fine. I do think the zoos brought a lot to the deck, but I think Rescue Cat still gives a lot. I know we didn't showcase what the Rescue Cat does, but I think it goes to show that you don't need the zoos or you don't need the Rescue Cat. They're just additional starters and or extenders to help you play the deck even furthermore. The TRI-BRIGADE engine in and of itself is just super powerful.
It is. And we wanted to showcase a hand that, you know, clearly wasn't the most optimal. We could have easily just done like a better test hand, but like we want to show you guys what this deck can do when you open, you know, not the nuts and still end on the nuts, kind of. Like,
still pretty crazy.
This deck is still super versatile with its hands. You don't have to open absolutely bonkers, and even though you can, we want to show you guys what you can do when you don't, because it's easy to show you what you do when you do open that way, but sometimes you got to show the not so good looking stuff to let you guys know it's okay.
And it does happen.
Yeah, it happens a lot actually. But with that being said, we just wanted to update you guys on the build and let you guys know the combos in a different kind of way. Let us know if you like these types of videos. Make sure you stay tuned for King's Court case opening tomorrow. We will be announcing the giveaway winner for the box giveaway, so make sure you're here for that. But we love you, you matter, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys.
And tonight on stream.
Oh, and tonight on stream. Bye.
Bye, friends. Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
I'm a flower again.
I still don't have a hat. I just want a hat.
Here you go.
You can have